Hey everybody, once again I'm Tommy Dimsdale with the Dimsdale Debate, and we are here with Josiah Magneson. He is running for the House seat number 38 against Doug Brannon. And man, it's really good to have you here. Would you introduce yourself to my audience here?
Sure. Well, Tommy, first of all, thank you for
Absolutely.
having me, and it's an honor to be on the famous Dimsdale Debate.
Now it is.
Watched by all upstate conservatives. So my name's Josiah Magnuson, and I've been involved for a number of years. I know I'm young, but I have been involved since I was a teenager and in the conservative movement. And I'm currently the director of Americans for Constitutional Government, which is about the oldest constitutionalist group in the upstate, founded in 1962 in the Greenville area, and done a lot of other things. Helped with the Nullify Obamacare movement, and standing up for marriage between a man and a woman, standing up for pro-life issues, homeschooling. So I've been fairly active, I dare say, and really just figured it's time to kind of take it to the next level and step out a little more in faith, maybe, and run for a place where I can make a real difference, I think. So.
Cool. Well, that pretty much answers my next question, which was your current qualifications. You brought up age. Now, we're seeing a couple young people run in this primary. Why should voters not be concerned about your age or something that they may say might be inexperience? Why should they not be concerned about that?
Well, one thing that I think we are seeing is a pushback against the establishment, the status quo, and I think that I bring a fresh face, to Columbia. I do have more of the common sense type approach versus the politician approach, I would say.
Right.
And now, as far as my age goes, one thing that I've heard said, and I think this is very applicable, is that actually many of our founding fathers were young people. Many of them were under 30 years old at the time the Declaration of Independence was signed. So historically, you have seen young people making a major difference for liberty and for principle. And so I think that's a boat that I'd like to be in as well.
I got you. Okay, awesome. Well, really, I mean, what this election is going to come down to is how are you different from your opponent? What have you seen that Doug hasn't done, or what that he has done? How are you going to run things differently, and why do the people of House Seat 38 need a different face in there?
Right, and I think that's such an important question, because it's really like, okay, well, why should we vote for somebody who hasn't been there, like you're saying, not maybe as much experience? Mr. Brannon, and I don't disagree with him on everything. I mean, he votes the right way in certain cases, and I think that we probably stand for the same basic ideas. But I think that he's voted the wrong way on a number of issues, and I don't see him as really a fighter for conservative values. I think he's gone down there and he's really maybe stepped back, and it's something where I would rather be represented by someone who is willing to step up and champion a cause.
Okay.
So
on what basis do you make that claim? As far as he hasn't fought. Can you give me some examples on some things that you would have fight specifically for that you think that he may not have fought hard enough?
Sure. Going back, I think one of the things that really got me interested in this, even back before, was the homeschool issue, school choice. Of course, he voted against school choice, one of the Spartanburg Six, and he introduced a bill to essentially eliminate parent-controlled homeschooling, option 3. So that really piqued my interest, and I started to see that he wasn't on the same side of some of the important issues. I would say some of the things that I would champion, I would be completely opposed to the gas tax hike.
Right.
Mr. Brannon voted for that, and he then a couple nights ago actually abstained from voting when there was an opportunity when it came back up again. I would be against that, because we need reform of the system, not just throwing money at the problem. And there's a number of other issues where I see great need.
I got you.
So.
And I'm sure as this primary season goes on, we're going to see plenty of those differences, and I look forward to seeing some of those differences. I think it's going to be really fun. How do you line yourself politically, whether that be Republican, I'm a conservative, I'm Reagan conservative, I'm a libertarian, I'm this, that. How would you align yourself politically?
Well, I struggle with that, I guess. I do not. So back a while ago, I was involved in the Constitution Party originally, and so I guess I still consider myself something of a constitutionalist. But I didn't really see that going anywhere per se. So got involved in the Republican Party, and I do believe in the principles of the Republican platform, and so what I ended up calling myself was a constitutional Republican.
There you go. See, that should be anyways, but as far as the Republican platform, I'm kind of with you on that, the platform matches us, but the people who are running it don't.
That's right, yeah, unfortunately.
This is one thing that I really want to know, because I see a lot of people who are involved who have a lot of energy, they've got a lot of passion, and they're making waves. But the question is, do those waves redirect anything? Do they change minds? Are they making a difference, or are they just making a point? And this is what really decides your effectiveness when you go down there and you get among these people. How are you going to change minds? How are you going to make that difference with your values? Because obviously, I think your values are great, but how, if you go down there, you're inflammatory or whatever, obviously those are not going to be passed. How are you going to get these people to follow you?
That's a great thing to be keeping in mind, because I think we have kind of slipped a little bit as far as that goes in influencing correctly. There's a couple things I would say is that I'm not going to go down there and pat backs and cozy up to everybody, but on the other hand, I'm not going to make enemies of everybody. I do want to work with people, and there's a number of good folks down there. So I'm definitely going to want to make allies, and I would say another thing that's important is Morton Blackwell with the Leadership Institute said personnel is policy. And one of the most important things, I think, is to actually choose good team members. And that's one thing that I would be able to do, I think, is to kind of associate myself with a good group of conservatives who I can rely on, and we can make a good difference together. But I would definitely seek to be a leader and an influencer, not just a rabble rouser. So.
Exactly. Okay. All right. And one thing that I always we on our second episode, we actually had Stephen Long on with us during that episode. It was messages they're waiting for, and I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I've got a picture of Reagan up there. It says, "We carry the messages they're waiting for," and absolutely, that message is for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latino, whatever. It's for everyone.
Yes.
And if it is articulated correctly, we can shine a light of conservatism through any of the liberal darkness. So. Let's see, what else? I've got something fun here. We're going to do a real quick lightning round. Some of these you've already gone over. Some of them we'll hit twice just to solidify. All right, real quick. Gas tax. You are
against it.
Against it.
Well, I'm in favor of a gas tax, but I'm not in favor of
the hike.
Increasing gas tax. We need to audit the SCDOT and make sure that the reforms are put in place. That are needed. So.
Okay. Local government fund.
I mean, it's the law,
right?
We should obey the law, fully fund it, and I think that counties do a better job with the money than the state does. So let's fully fund it. Okay. All right.
Fossil fuels.
I mean, I support fossil fuels. I also am a solar installer, so I'm not I'm not going to be in favor of like subsidies for renewable energy. But on the other hand, I like people getting off the grid. So.
Being self-sustaining.
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess I'm not sure whether I support fossil fuels. Yes, I do support them.
Just your general idea of those.
I do think that the 20th century really was run on oil. So absolutely. I don't oppose the fossil fuel industry.
Global warming, is it real, fake?
Man-made global warming is fake.
Okay.
I don't see any evidence of that. Climate's been changing for thousands of years. Obviously. It goes up and down. I think we were maybe on a little warming, and then I think we might have, peaked, and maybe we're going down again. I don't know. it's hard to know. It's certainly not something that the government needs to be deciding.
Gotcha. Okay. Abortion.
Very much pro-life. Yeah, I'm in favor of a personhood amendment to the state constitution. I'm frankly disappointed that there was not that approach taken, the personhood approach, all the way back with Roe v. Wade, because that was what a lot of the arguments were at the Supreme Court. Well, if life is defined, if the fetus is defined as a human being, as a person legally, then it's protected.
Right.
And I think that that's the approach that we need to take.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. That's cool. Flat tax, fair tax, or progressive tax?
Well, I'm a socialist, Tommy, so no.
Right. I'm on. If Doug gets on here, I'm gonna ask him these same questions. So.
No. I guess I would probably support a flat tax.
Okay.
The fair tax system, and I mean, I'm open to discussion on this, but the fair tax system, I'm a little concerned that you've got government intervening into business, basically, where the businesses have to report all of their commercial transactions. So I'm a little concerned about that, but I would be open certainly to a fair tax as well.
Okay. Refugee resettlement.
Big issue right now. Of course, we had the tragic bombing the other day, and definitely difficult to see all this going on the world stage, and we definitely don't want it to come to South Carolina. I think that, again, we need a common sense approach. I mean, you can't bring your enemies into your house and be okay with it. One thing that Mr. Brannon seems to believe is that this is really not anything we can do anything about. I think that with Senator Bryant's bill, he's shown that we can do something about it. We can make sure that SLED is double checking the background of some of these refugees that are coming in. We can put liability on people who are sponsoring them, and there's a lot of other things we can do. We can keep the state from helping these people to be settled here. So there's a lot of things we can do to keep the refugees from coming.
Right.
And we do need to be serious about that issue.
Okay. Second Amendment.
Very much in favor of the Second Amendment. Very much. I mean, I think the founders said it themselves: a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Memorized.
So, exactly. It's necessary. It's that important that they said it couldn't be. Basically, they're saying it couldn't be done without. That's what keeps us free. Is our right to have weapons, to defend ourselves and our neighbors.
Gotcha. And as far as a state level deal, would you be for constitutional carry? Should there be training involved with a CWP to get a CWP? To what level would you be on that?
I would favor constitutional carry.
Okay.
I think that there's different things. I mean, I don't necessarily want a felon to be able to get a firearm, but I think we could discuss that. I mean, everybody has a God-given right to defend themselves and their family. So I would definitely err on the side of constitutional carry.
Okay. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Anything else you need to announce, or any events that anywhere you're gonna be?
Yes, absolutely. Of course, I'll be going door to door a whole bunch more between now and the election. And so if you're in northern Spartanburg County, love to meet you. What I do want to announce, I'm going to be doing some town halls. The next one is March 31st at the Dutch Plate Restaurant in Campbello, and calling it Get the Facts Town Hall. We'll be discussing some of Mr. Brandon's record, as well as some of the issues that I think are crucial for the future for South Carolina.
All right. Well, Josiah, I appreciate you being here.
All right,
guys. Hopefully we'll maybe get Doug on here one day and see what he has to say, and you guys can make your decision. Guys, I really like the fact that you were able to come on here and discuss some very conservative issues. But guys, go out and vote. When's the primary?
June 14th.
June 14th.
So please vote for me. And the town hall is at 6:30 at the Dutch Plate.
Awesome.
I almost missed that. Gotta be specific.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Y'all have a great day. We'll catch you next time.